What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. I can't believe we're going to do it. We're going to talk about Konami today, and they're showing up at E3 with some games, and they've pretty much named them for all the different systems and everything, and the Switch is in there, and I have some hopes for them when it comes to the Switch, because obviously what we saw with Bomberman and everything, but it's Konami. I should probably expect them to show up with a game that then uses a pachinko machine add-on for the Switch, but we'll talk about it a bit, and what I hope to see, right? What we kind of know we're going to see, but what I hope to see, and it's Konami, so I guess I shouldn't set the expectations too high because they'll probably let us all down. First, though, before we get into some of the bigger stuff, let's get into some of the smaller news that we saw from yesterday. De Blob on the Switch did get dated. This was, of course, is from THQ Nordic. They put out a new trailer. It's coming June 26th. Now, this was out on the Wii. Man, almost 10 years ago, actually. So if you didn't already feel old today, well, hopefully that makes you feel old now. Yeah, almost 10 years ago on the Wii, De Blob did come out. It got pretty good reviews. It's a fun little game, and it's coming out for $29.99. It's going to be digitally and physically released, so you don't have to worry about that. Oh, it's coming out digital today, and then in a month it's going to be physical. Straight up digital and physical release same day for $29.99. I actually like that. I think that's a good thing. I'd rather all the releases be like that, but I do know a lot of indie developers have to release it digitally, see if they even get enough money to then put money in and make it physical, but at least this one, again, is coming later on this month. That's June 26th. And then we had the announcement that the Game Awards will return this year. I believe it's their 5th straight year doing it. That's going to be December 6th. That's a Thursday, starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And that should have all of the announcements that they do and everything. Remember, that's where things like Bayonetta were originally revealed, the collection, and then Bayonetta 3, for example. So they do get some good announcements there. We do see some pretty cool gameplay videos of everything. And then, of course, we have the live performances that tend to go wrong, as we saw with the Way Out developer. But actually, that was a highlight of the show for a lot of people. The musical stuff last year was really cool, and it's just fun. I mean, I know a lot of people get kind of annoyed or bored by it, but I actually think it's a good time. I do like the live game award shows because we don't really see them anymore, and it's cool to see that. It was actually a lot worse back when they had it on Spike TV because some of the skits they would do were just oh, they weren't great. And then finally, we had Sony's first game kicking off their countdown to E3 series, where they're going to just basically reveal a game, or I think a release date today, actually, for a game I guess we already know about. They haven't specified which game it is or anything, so we'll find out, I guess, later on today. But we did get a game announced yesterday to a mild crowd reaction, although I think it's a pretty cool looking game and I'm actually going to enjoy it. I think it looks really fun because it's called the Tetris Effect. Well, just Tetris Effect, I guess. It's based on the recognized condition called the Tetris Effect, where I guess if you're playing a game for so long, you start seeing Tetris blocks or something. It's very odd. It's never happened to me, so I can't tell you one way or the other. But this game is coming this fall. They're going to have full hands-on at E3, and based on what I've seen from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be almost like a virtualized Tetris game in front of you. It was a very psychedelic looking trailer, but what was cool was before the Tetris blocks show up and everything on screen, they do flash the name Tetsuya Mitsuguchi, who, you may know, is the creator of Luminous and Res Infinite, two games that are really, really well done. And this looks like it's going to be a cool take on Tetris, and it's going to be VR enabled for the PlayStation VR. And if you have PlayStation 4 Pro, with the press release they sent out, they said it will be 4K at 60 frames per second. So yes, it will be a full native 4K at 60, and that is great. Of course, it's a puzzle game. I don't expect anything visually to be crazy or anything, but I do like the art style. I do like how it looks. And honestly, I want to see what difference, I guess, VR makes. Can you actually kind of look around the puzzle that you're building through the Tetris block? I don't really know how that even help you, but I guess you could. Or maybe it's just right in front of you so you can kind of see it easier while you're dropping the blocks. I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be kind of fun. It's a smaller game. It wasn't one that was going to blow the roof off the place, but for Tetris fans, you're probably pretty excited. And with all that out of the way, guys, let's get started. So, Konami, our favorite video game company. Well, not really anymore. They've kind of messed up the Metal Gear series with Metal Gear Survive, where there's a lot of backlash, a lot of pushback. People didn't really like it. Fans of the series were like, it's not really a Metal Gear game. You're doing some weird stuff here. But, of course, they did say it was a spin-off. I'm going to be more curious if they can even pull off something like a Metal Gear Solid 6. I feel like they probably can't, but I bet you they'll take a shot at it. And of course, they've kind of gone the way of gambling and pachinko machines, and they've actually done well there. They're actually making money, by the way, doing that. but they do seem to still be attached to the video game market in some way, and at E3 they appear to have at least some games set for reveal. Now one, it seems to be a compilation they have for the Switch, and the other seems to be an action-adventure game. This actually all is on the E3 site. Now what they do is a lot of companies, they don't want to outright say what game it is, but they'll tell you the genre, and they tell you the systems that they're going to show up for. Now, Konami seems to be showing up for everything. I mean, I'm talking Android to Oculus to whatever. They're just showing up, right? But they did list the Switch for those ones, and they also list the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3, by the way, and the 360 now. Just because they're under the same categories doesn't mean they're all the same game, for example. But compilation is very interesting. That's the one that I'm really interested in. Action-adventure could be, honestly, anything at this point. I don't think they're showing up with a new Metal Gear game. It could be, who knows, really. But the compilations one is the one that everyone seems very curious about, because it could be a couple things. It could be a Castlevania collection. It could be like a Konami's classic collection where they pull a bunch of old games and put them onto one disc. Or they could finally be bringing the Metal Gear Solid HD collection up to this generation. That includes for the Switch. We would assume it'd be on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, because those games ran fine on the fine on the PS3 and the 360, and the PS3 wasn't bad, obviously, but they ran pretty well there, and of course they looked a lot better. Now we assume if it came up to this standard, they'd be shooting for something like 4K, like kind of what they've done with Zone of the Undersecond Runner Mars. It's in 4K on the PS4 Pro and everything. We assume these would be as well, and then maybe they would also put it on the Switch and give it better performance compared to what the Vita was doing, which wasn't the greatest. Something that does interest me about this whole situation is they made Peace Walker, I believe, backwards compatible on the Xbox One, but not any of the other games. So when I heard that, I was like, that's weird, but maybe it's because they're prepping a collection, that HD collection, to show up on current generation stuff. On the Switch, the PS4 and Xbox One would be awesome. I hope that's what they're doing here, but it's Konami, so my expectations are set to low, and then I'll be excited when they hopefully announce Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Next up, let's talk about one of the Tales games from Bandai Namco at this point. It was all over the place. I remember Atari did some localization to Europe and stuff. It was all over the place. But I'm talking about Tales of Vesperia. Now, this showed up because Gematsu actually found a password-locked site that seems to point to the 10th anniversary of Tales of Vesperia. This actually came out in 2008, so we're pretty much in its 10th year, and that makes sense why they would do something like a 10th anniversary. And according to Gematsu, there is a remaster in the works. Now, they say they've heard from multiple sources that this is being remastered for its 10th anniversary, so there's no actual confirmation, but Gematsu is pushing very hard for this. They have a password-locked site that they found, and it is the 10th anniversary. Now, if you're not sure what Tales of Vesperia is, it was an older game, again, in 2008, that released for the 360. Now, it also was on the PS3 in Japan, but it never left Japan. Really, as far as I can tell, the only way I could play it is on my 360, or I guess backwards compatible, if that was the case. But it was a 360 only game, and that was interesting now to think about, because you wouldn't see that on the Xbox One as a day one exclusive anymore, like Japanese RPG like that. But it was a really good game. A lot of people really liked it, myself included. And to hear that they could do a full remaster for, like, I assume the PS4, Xbox One, and because Bandai Namco is pretty high on the Switch right now, the Switch, it was a 360 game, I don't see why not, and it would give the portable experience. It's getting people who are fans of the Tales games very excited. Now, could this also be the Tales game that they were hinting at before? I mean, I guess it could be, but we kind of heard about the Tales, or the Entertaria trademark and everything that's been found. That seems more like the Tales game. This seems like it'd be something that's extra, just to celebrate that 10th anniversary. And honestly, it's easy cash-in. It never came out on the PlayStation systems here, so why not? It's easy. But I hope that's the case, because this was a good game that's kind of been left back on those systems, and to bring it up to snuff, 4K visuals, or portable with the Switch, so you can kind of pick what you want, throw it on the PC as well, why not? Yeah, let's get that game out there. It was a great game, and it'd be a shame to leave it last generation. But also, we're on the topic of the Xbox with Tales of Vesperia. Their E3 sale appears to have started today, and they have a lot of games that are seriously like 75, 80% off right now. I think Battlefield 1 Revolution, for example, is like $15 right now. That's 75%. They have like Grand Theft Auto 5, 50% off, several games. I mean, I think they have like 50 or 60 games that are all on sale, deep discounts. So if you're looking for, I guess, some games on the cheap on the Xbox right now, newer ones as well, I think Assassin's Creed Origins is even on there, I would go check it out now for the E3 sale. Of course, a lot of companies do these E3 sales. We already heard about Sony's Days of Play or whatnot they're doing, and this seems to be Microsoft's side of it. Maybe Nintendo will do an E3 sale, and maybe even the publishers like Ubisoft or EA and stuff might do it on their own platforms. But there you go. Just check out Microsoft Store if you're looking to pick up some games on the cheap, because maybe you're in the mood to play some games during E3 or maybe when the conference is going on. Check it out. And our last bit of news, let's talk about the Media Create sales charts. These, of course, we talk about seemingly every week, but these are the physical sales charts in Japan that go down all the games, all the systems, and this week in particular actually marks a pretty big benchmark, pretty big milestone for one of the games which we're going to talk about, and I'll point out to you guys as we get on the charts. Let's start with the top 10 games here, starting with Dark Souls Remaster for the PS4. That's one that I believe Media Create has even talked about already as being a game that's probably going to stick around in the top 10 for a while. That's actually 19,870. That's coming up on 100,000 physical units moved through. Detroit Become Human, which actually had a pretty large opening for this, I guess, this brand, this type of game over there in Japan, 16,932. Splatoon 2, which I've told you guys before, never going away, 14,317. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. I was a little disappointed by this game, to be honest. I thought it would have done better in Japan, but Cross Tag Battle on the PS4, 11,696. The Nintendo Switch, obviously, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze below that. Mario Kart Deluxe. Full Metal Panic Fight Who Dare Wins. That's there, 10,520. That's the PS4. Kirby Star Allies, Nintendo Switch, and then Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's the big one, 6,722, and that's actually now crossed 1 million units. That's for Breath of the Wild. That's a pretty big deal for the Zelda series in Japan, where it tends to actually sell less than other territories. So that's big there for Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch. Then below that, number 10, Liar Princess and the Blind Prince. That one's from Nippon Ichi Software, and that's 6,487. The one that's below that, at the 11th spot, is actually the Switch version of that, and they are seriously within margin of error. Like, that one's like 6,412. Moving over to hardware, we have Nintendo Switch at the top, 40,587. That's actually a pretty nice little jump, about 4,000 unit jump from last week, and that brings the year to date actually over 1 million units. There you go. I had a feeling it would be around this time. I talked about that a couple weeks ago, around E3 time when they cross 1 million for the year. PS4, 18,171. That's a small jump for the amount of games that we saw up there for the PS4 in the top 10, but there you go. It's actually down from last year as well, and they are coming up on 1 million. They're still roughly 100,000 or so away from that. The 3DS, 6,818. The Vita, 2,393. It's actually a little up, by the way, from last week, and then the Xbox One, it's just still not doing the best, obviously, at 135. So if it's not obvious by now, the Switch, yeah, it's going to continue selling. It only seems to go up most times, and it's just, if they don't have like a big game coming out, it seems to really sit around the 35 to 40,000 mark, but that's enough to quickly catch up to the PS4. It's getting there. It's not too far behind. Honestly, by the end of this year with Pokemon and everything, it'll probably pass the PS4 by then, if not sooner. It might be the launch week of Pokemon that it actually passes the PS4, which would be crazy. That also does depend on stock. Zelda Breath of the Wild reaching 1 million units it's great for that franchise. It's awesome to see Zelda actually very strong in Japan, a place where, again, it's not usually that strong compared to like the Americas, where it's very strong. Here it's not, in Japan it's not as much, but that just shows you that Breath of the Wild really is that good of a game, and that the Switch is that hot of a system. So overall, it was pretty much a lackluster, really weak overall. I mean, Blaze Blue should have done better than that. On the Switch, it was way down in like the teens. It sold like 6,000 units or something on the Switch even, so it just didn't do that well. I'm not sure why. I guess it just wasn't received there well, but hey, we'll see how it does, I guess, over in, I guess, the US and everything here. Maybe it'll do better, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like Japan's game, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about everything we talked about today. Let me know about Konami. What do you think the odds of them actually doing something really cool, like bringing that Metal Gear Solid HD collection up to normal standards now with, 4K or portable nature on the Switch? Do you think they even are going to do that? Do you think it's going to be some basic Konami collection where they take some of their older games, kind of like what we see with like the Sega Classics stuff that they've done with the Sega Classic collection they put out? think it's going to be something like that? Or do you think they're going to do something even crazier, like a Castlevania collection? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Or what do you think that action-adventure game is from them? Do you think that's going to be something brand new we've never heard of, and they're just putting it out there? Is it a new Metal Gear game? I don't know. I got to know your guys' thoughts down below. I'm very curious. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.